Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about more of the updates on the Trisha, Shane, and Jeffree situation. This whole drama has been all over the place and it's hard to keep up with it, but hopefully you enjoy the video. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on your post notifications. It really helps out this channel, and give this video a thumbs up. Alright, let's get into the tea. First things first, if you are not familiar with this one, let's rewind a little bit. About a year ago, Trisha Paytas was on a trip to Vegas with Jeffree Star and his crew. Apparently she left early because Jeffree and his hair and makeup people were talking really mean and nasty things about her behind her back. Recently, Jeffree's hairstylist Hair by Jay went on an Instagram live and talked about Trisha and the Vegas trip, and he went off on her and said some really rude and nasty things about her. Trisha responded to that on her social platforms. She was very upset and she came out to say how she no longer supports Jeffree Star. She confirmed everything that was said was true, and she said that she was scared of Jeffree and his people. In another video, Trisha said she was really disappointed in Shane and Ryland since they didn't believe her, and she felt hurt by them not showing any support towards her, and instead they chose to publicly support Jeffree by constantly talking about him and promoting him. Ryland tried to address the situation on his podcast. He barely apologized, if we could call it an apology, and decided to turn off the comments on several episodes since people were quite mad at his response to the drama. Also, another ex-friend of Jeffree came out to say that Jeffree was ready and was wondering when exactly to drop Shane when Shane was in hot water earlier this summer. All of this is quite messy. Again, I would suggest watching my video on the topic for more details. And here is a update on the situation. So Jeffree uploaded a video titled "I got cancelled again, so I had a $200,000 shopping spree." And in that video, he didn't say anything about the situation at all, like any of his videos in the past year. He only uses the drama to get the views, but then doesn't address anything. But in the description of the video, he said, "Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Instead of talking about the millionth false rumor to hit the internet, I'm excited to unveil my custom one-of-a-kind pink Louis Vuitton monogram shoe trunk. Contrary to popular belief and slander, I don't money shame anyone, and we all know I've come from literally nothing. I created glitter from dirt and will always be grateful for how far I've come." So when I sarcastically asked Louis Vuitton if they'd let me be the first customer to ever change the monogram color by request, I didn't expect them to respond. A few weeks went by and they said yes. I was so shook. So I got to design and create some of my dream LV pieces in my very own Jeffree Star baby pink with white monogram. Truly a piece of fashion history. And what's strange is that he says one thing on Twitter where he stated he apologized to Trisha several times, which apology is now deleted by the way, but then here he says he was slandered about money shaming. In the past week, Trisha has come out to say that Jeffree and his friends called her poor multiple times, shamed her for not being as rich as them, renting her home, which by the way, she just bought a house with Moses. And just because you rent something, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily poor. Maybe you don't want to commit to something just yet. But for more financial advice, go to my finance channel, shameless plug, tee. And a lot of people are saying he has money shamed people before, so that's not the first time. For example, in Ryland's podcast, Jeffree was featured in a recent episode, and he talked about how, unlike other YouTubers, he actually owns his home. Trisha posted this TikTok in response to Jeffree's new video.
He just goes on a Louis Vuitton shopping spree, which is cool. He's like, I got canceled again. Once again, just that's his MO, that's his brand. I expect it from Jeffree. That's not even my issue. Like, Jeffree has like totally gone under my radar now. It's all about like how Shane and Ryland are actually two-faced and lying is coming. But in Jeffree's new description, he says that he was slandered because people say that he money shames, and he's saying he doesn't. He's considered that slanderous. Well, let's look at this clip from What Else But the Sip.
Monthly, yeah, it's expensive, but my mortgage is really low. Unlike a lot of YouTubers, actually actually paid for my house. Yeah.
So you don't want to believe me and the other people like stories about it. Like he says it in his own words, as if it's like so horrible to be renting a house. Like a lot of people can't even afford a roof over their head, and the fact that they just like laugh and giggle about it is absolutely disgusting. So there's no slander there. It's from the horse's mouth himself. Next. To me, that's like the most disgusting, like money shaming, like during this time right now, like.
A comment on his video says, "Money is really up his head. Goes to show he doesn't care about friendships. No wonder why he's losing friends. I do love and support Jeffree, but I just can't understand his actions towards his friends." And then Jeffree responded, "You weren't there for any of the situations. I pray you never experience what I have. My real friends aren't on camera." Okay, so I guess by Jeffree's logic, Shane is not a friend of his. So Shane, dear, you can now stop supporting him since y'all are not friends apparently. Also, on the Frenemies podcast, Ethan asked Trisha if she wanted to speak on the Shane and Jeffree situation again. Trisha pretty much said there isn't much to talk about. She called out Ryland for being a little weasel, and she also said both Shane and Ryland are gonna glaze over everything and pretend like it didn't happen. Ethan commented on the fact that Shane and Ryland turned off the comments and likes. He said that it's probably gonna make everything worse, since they're basically silencing the people who truly support them and just completely shutting them off by not letting them share their opinion. He said it's a bad move, it's gonna frustrate people more and more. Ethan also made fun of the name of the podcast. He said it wasn't creative, and then Trisha was like, they don't even like drama or talk about it, and this situation is more than just some petty drama. Trisha also said that she heard the voice memos that Shane had sent to other people talking about her, and she is just opening her eyes on who he really is. She compared Shane to Jeffree and said that you can expect all of these things from Jeffree because he's a mean girl and he always gets off the hook. He doesn't really care and he probably enjoys all of the drama. Trisha then said that Shane, on the other hand, is a snake and two-faced. Both Trisha and Ethan jokingly agreed that Shane is no empath, which is funny because Shane always says he wants to help people and that he feels their emotions and so on, but his actions really say otherwise. Then Trisha says that she's completely over it, but she's still in shock, and she called Ryland's response comical. After that, Trisha revealed that Shane had asked her to marry him and Ryland. That shows that they did have a deeper friendship at some point, since he wanted to share such a special and important part with her. The thought of him throwing all of that for defending Jeffree Star of all people is just mind-blowing. Speaking of Ryland and his podcast, Ryland and Lizzie talked about turning the comments off on their last two podcast episodes, the one where he addressed the Trisha drama and the previous one, which included Jeffree and the Kanye team, since people were really pissed and had a lot to say and it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine. Ryland talked about how the comments negatively impact his state of mind. He said it's unhealthy and he needed to take a few steps away from the situation.
This podcast has been such a source of joy and happiness for me. It's been so much fun. And there was quite a bit of negativity going on in our comments. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want this to affect me and how I move forward.
In general, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes content creators have to take a break every once in a while. However, a lot of his fans said that in this situation, it felt like they were silenced from their opinion. And mind you, most of the comments were not toxic or harmful. Fans of both Shane and Ryland are the ones that follow this podcast, even after all that's happened in 2020 regarding Shane. That's their core audience. And if they have a problem with the way Shane and Ryland handled the situation, well, that really says something, doesn't it? Ryland says it's not going to be forever. He's going to turn the comments back on at some point. And he also mentions it's a way of distancing himself off of social media, taking a break from all of it.
And I think regardless of anything that's going on, you and I, just reading comments about ourselves on the internet.
It's probably not healthy.
It's not healthy. Even if it's not a forever thing, I just think for now it's the healthiest thing to do. I think taking a step back every once in a while from social media is just a healthy thing to do. I deleted all the apps from my phone, not my actual accounts. I'm not crazy.
Again, influencers and content creators definitely need to take a break off of social media if it gets to them. However, in this case, the negative comments come from a place where his fans try to hold him accountable for his actions. For example, people want Shane to come out and say something about this entire situation, instead of other people from his circle talking about it. Ryland wasn't mentioned, or at least maybe just a few times when Trisha would talk about why she was so disappointed. Trisha talked about Ryland after he addressed the drama on the SIP. Ryland could have brushed it away from the start. Shane, on the other hand, he's involved in this and he needs to take at least a public position on this. He can't just hide. At this point, it seems like they want to forget all about it and not mention it again. I mean, they probably tried to fix things privately, but everyone else talked about this. Hair by Jay, Trisha, Jeffree, even his ex-friends, especially when we know that Shane planned to come back this year really soon, from what Trisha said a few episodes back on Frenemies before this entire show. He can't come back and pretend this didn't happen. I don't know who's his PR team, but either they're planning something epic to improve Shane's image, or he needs to fire them ASAP. But what do you guys think? Should Shane address this publicly, or is there no need for it? Comment down below. And lastly, since Trisha said that Jeffree and his friends money shamed her on that Vegas trip, calling her poor and shaming her for renting her home, Jeffree denied all of that like we already mentioned, but people went through one of the episodes from Shane's first docuseries on Jeffree. In that episode, and the whole docuseries honestly, they kept on gushing about how loaded Jeffree is, how rich he is, and so on. They go to Walmart and buy a bunch of clothes and Jeffree gets a makeover. They throw in a few jokes about Tana shopping there.
Okay.
All those clothes, makeup, everything combined.
Did you get the Sunny Delight?
Yeah, of course we did. What's our total? $249.65. I'm shook. I'm like, okay.
For all of that?
Yeah.
That's not even one of your articles of clothing on your body right now.
I get why Tana shops there. I'm getting you a water cream.
I just use
and
spit.
I am going to get you a luminous dewy skin mist. Oh, this sunscreen. Are you into sunscreen, care, or you don't care?
Oh no, I love sunscreen.
Great. Yes. It's like we're doing Make-A-Wish. This is so cool. For me. Don't touch your door. I got it.
Why? You want my pour to rub off? Oh my god!
Shane keeps calling himself poor compared to Jeffree, but that was the same year when he moved into a $3 million house, mind you. And Shane kind of tries to say that he's not mocking people for shopping in Walmart since he does it as well.
We're gonna get a lot of people being like, oh, you're making fun of Walmart, making fun of whatever, even though I do shop there.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, okay, go ahead. Sorry, I just always chime in. I'm gonna be quiet.
What I was gonna say is, I was like, okay, well, we should think of like a charity or something to do, like to tie it in and be like, oh, we're donating whatever. But then you were saying earlier, are you okay with me saying this?
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't know you were gonna say it.
Well, today you were just at the LGBT center.
Yeah.
And you donated how much?
125,000.
And then one thing you said, you were just like, other companies there who
Yes.
donated, who were huge billion-dollar companies who donated literally nothing. What makes me mad is knowing that like this video is gonna get for us, like, oh, make fun of whatever. Cut to like you donating that much money. Cut to other big companies who pretend like they give a fuck.
He tries to say that those are just jokes and that he does not want to come off as insensitive, although the jokes could be offensive to some, so it depends on how you view them. Tell me how you feel about that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post new videos every single week. All right, bye.